So today is DailyCyber number 22. I didn't get much studying today, but I had a chance to read a great article. Or it's not just an article, it's just a website from the PCworld.com. It's about the 10 biggest hacks, breaches, and security stories of 2016. So here, let me take you over to the actual webpage. So here you can see the 10 biggest hacks, breaches, and security stories for 2016. And let's kind of jump right into it. So what you'll see here is the first hackers turn Yahoo into Yahoos. And as you read through this little, the two paragraph, I won't say blog post, but article, it talks about the 500 million users' accounts had been breached, but it ended up turning to be 1 billion users from 2013 to 2016. So it was a huge compromise. Next is rampant ransomware. In 2016, if you're in security, if you're in the industry, you can kind of see that a lot of companies got compromised by ransomware. And then through the paragraph, they talk about different types of ransomware. DYN, DDoS, which is Distributed Denial of Service Attack. And it was against DYN, which is a major domain name service provider. So, and if you don't know what domain name service is, basically when you type in www.google.com, that name resolves to an IP address, which then points to where you want to go. Where's that hosting? So it was a huge company for that did support the DNS for Twitter, GitHub, Netflix, and several other companies, and they were up and down for the entire day because of the distributed denial of service attack. Now, if you don't know what a distributed denial of service attack is, basically what it is when a denial of service attack, just the DOS, is when one source is sending, like for example, a domain server, a lot of requests, and then what happens is the domain server starts to get overloaded with a request. Now, when you have a distributed denial of service, it means multiple devices are sending requests into that device. In this instance, the domain name system or server, and it's sending in there, and it's putting all these requests in, which then starts to shut down other traffic. And then from there, the server starts to slow down and then eventually, shuts right down. Then now you can't get any requests. So that's what a distributed denial of service attack is and a denial of service attack is. Apple stops patching QuickTime. So if you're using QuickTimes on a PC, so not on the actual Mac itself, but on a PC, Apple stopped patching it, and then what happened was they found two critical vulnerabilities were discovered. So then Apple just depreciated QuickTime and then figured that the Windows users would go in and start using the Windows Player to play any of their videos. Distributed guessing. Now here's something that's really interesting, and I mean, this hits everyone from, if you're doing Christmas shopping to big business, and if you're setting up some sort of e-commerce solution. Researchers at Newcastle University, and you'll see right here, researchers at Newcastle University in the United Kingdom demonstrated that they were able to discover a credit card's expiration date and credit card's verification value, which is the 3-digit code on the back, and they were able to do that with a really simple code that they were using, a low digit, using a technique called distributed guessing. And what happened, and you'll see here, within about 6 seconds, they were able to find out the numerical sequence to unlock the credit card's secret codes. That's what the researchers were saying. So put that in perspective. They were able to have the credit card number, and within 6 seconds, they were able to guess through this generator, this application that they're running, what were the numerical values for the expiration date and the actual credit card verification value. DNC hack. So here's something where we look at now hacks have changed from companies, people, to going after the government more. This is where the election for the Democratic National Committee, and that was the DNC, and they were trying to affect the election. And then what happens is, here's one where they actually try to affect the U.S. presidential election was Russians' dirty deeds, and they suspect that the Russians were trying to affect the U.S. election. And then next is the San Bernardino iPhone. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. This one we all saw that in the news, where there was an Islamic extremist that did a terrorist attack, and what happened was some of the evidence they suspected was on an iPhone that was property of the terrorist. So the FBI had it in possession, but they couldn't get access to it because the phone was encrypted. So they requested Apple to unlock the phone and give the FBI access. Well, this went into courts and got mainstream media coverage, and Apple refused to give them access because they didn't want to show them how to get into the actual phone. We found out later that the FBI actually hired a hacker overseas, and they were able to get access. The NSA was hacked. In August, an anonymous hacker group called the Shadow Brokers said it had obtained hacking tools from the Equation Group, a cyber espionage team linked to the National Security Agency. And then SWIFT hack, which SWIFT stands for Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications. And this started as a single $81 million malware attack against the Bangladesh bank targeting the SWIFT. So now you can see that the major, not all of them, but some of the major attacks for 2016 that were publicized, you can kind of look at, and I want to first thank PC World for that brief overview of 2016 snapshot. But you can kind of see how big companies, banks, governments, it's everyone that's being affected by cybersecurity and cyber crimes. And this goes for yourself, no matter what level of technology you're using. If you're using it just because it's personal use, your iPhone, an Internet of Things device, your computer, you're connected to email, websites, whatever that may be, to if you're running a business and all levels in the business. So if you have e-commerce, you have servers, you have data that you're trying to protect, you have customer information, you have employee information, like all that, all you're trying to protect and just keep secure. And this is why I was reading even an article today that the United States is really looking at increasing their cybersecurity team and educating more people. And this is why it's so important for the average person to do cybersecurity awareness training, to what to watch out for, what to be aware for, and do it ongoing. I mean, it's like self-defense training. Yeah, if you take a weekend course in self-defense, you might learn a few things, but to actually apply it, if you don't use it, you lose it. So no difference from cybersecurity. If you're not doing it on at least a minimum weekly basis of being mindful of what's going on, connecting with what's happening in the news and what you should be watching out for, you start to let it go. You start to kind of forget about it, and then you lose your awareness. You lose your intuition to be mindful of these incidents that you might get caught up in because you're so busy and you're doing all these other things, right? Maybe you don't set up the right password because it's just that site. I'll just do it quickly, and then all of a sudden you find like, oh my God, like what happened? Now my identity's been stolen. Something's happened, right? Someone's got access to my email because they asked for your email address, and then you just put your email address in a simple password, and all of a sudden now they got access to your actual email. What if it's Hotmail, Gmail, Yahoo? And any other email systems, right? They've also got access to it. Now you're like, oh my, how do they do that? So the more cybersecurity awareness you go through to protect yourself, to protect your family, your business, your friends, and share that information, the safer that you're going to be, because big businesses are investing highly in cybersecurity and really protecting themselves. But you see the general population, entrepreneurs, small business, and medium-sized business really can't do that at the scale of Fortune 500 companies, so they have to find other resources. And sometimes when you look at entrepreneurs and small business, they really don't have the time to do it or the financial resources because they're trying to build their business. Now, I'm not saying that yourself, but if you look at the people around and you ask them, like if it's an entrepreneur, how much time do you really spend per day, per week on cybersecurity? And you'll hear a lot of them say, well, I don't have time for that. And it's because, and completely seeing through their eyes is, They want to build their business. They're doing customer service. They're looking at shipping and receiving, products. If they're doing products or services, making sure everything is running properly, doing all that. Their banking, their financials, their bookkeeping. You name it. The list goes on and on. For them to go, oh, by the way, did I secure my passwords? Did I check my security logs? Did I do all this? They're like, I just don't have time to do it. And that's understandable. That's why my company, right, I'm building out, is actually providing that support and setting up systems in place and doing all that, because I know small business and entrepreneurs don't have the time or resources to be able to do that with big, big security companies, right, and agencies, because what happens is it costs so much money and so much time, and with these agencies, they're looking at protecting bigger companies, and the smaller companies just don't have the resources. So that's why I'm here to kind of educate you as much as I can, provide some good value, some information, provide you things that you can do for yourself. And then if you have any questions, you can come to knssconsulting.com and ask questions. So that's really kind of my video for today, really kind of my spiel as well. As Gary Vaynerchuk says, a little bit of a right hook there. But the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm not trying to sell you on it. You guys see what's going on in cyber crimes. What I'm trying to do is educate you on why you need to start taking action now and be proactive versus reactive. The worst thing that will happen is you don't secure everything, or you don't secure your website, your email address, your data, your financial information, your personal identifiable information, so PII. You don't do that, and all of a sudden something happens, and now everything gets flipped upside down, and now you're focused all on that versus the things that you really want to do in the areas that you need to focus on. So that's why I'm here, just kind of to support you and just do my best to provide the best information while I'm going through my video logs on my journey and really trying to learn and develop. And you can see as I'm doing this, I'm reading, I'm constantly kind of staying involved with cybersecurity, and it's fun. I was watching a video. I was watching a video yesterday, and what they were saying was, like any job, any career, you have to be consumed with it. You have to be like constantly in it, like 10 to 15 hours a day. And if it's 8 hours to 10 hours of work, then there should be 5 hours of studying. And that's what I'm trying to do, is get all that in and try to work, get some support in, help people while trying to study. And I know right now, you guys know this, helping my family member. So through this transition of helping them, I'm trying to get my studying and get things done. So I'm reading articles and really trying to every day be involved, at least a half an hour, and each day do something cybersecurity related. And right now we're starting to build up the cybersecurity support. So it's really good on that side. And I'd like to thank everyone that's being part of that. And just to let you know, we're here. We're here to support. We're here to answer any questions they have. So again, check out www.knssconsulting.com. And that'll be in the description below. So that's really my end of my video for today. The only thing I want to just remind you is software is hackable, being connected is vulnerable. So I want to wish you a great day, and just make sure that each and every time that's in your head, software is hackable, being connected is vulnerable.